Hi, I'm Richard.
Hi, Richard.
And I'm addicted to ThermAcryl.
Richard, we're glad you're here. There is no condemnation or judgment, so share as much as you'd like.
I remember my first experience with ThermAcryl. It was about 13 years ago. I was at a local district dental society meeting, and all the dentists were saying, "Man, you got to try this. You got to try this." So I tried it, and I've been addicted ever since. Hi, we're going to be delivering a dental device today, a TAP3 dental device with ThermAcryl. We want to talk about how to use the ThermAcryl. So you can kind of see our basic setup here. We've got the upper and lower devices. These are the impressions we took with the patient. We've got the tap key. We've got some occlusal marking ribbon. This is an AM aligner, which we have previously made for the patient. And then we're going to have a scalpel. Usually we use a Bart Parker with a 10 or a 15 blade. We've got our high dollar water pot here from Walmart for 10 bucks. So we got two bowls. One's cold, one's hot. Okay, so we're going to start out. Our patient here is Dr. Jim, who refers us a bunch of patients, and we thank him for that every day. And he's been wearing an EMA, and he's doing fine with it, but we're going to make him a tap here today as well. So this is what I want that thing to look like when it comes back from the lab. Okay, so we've got some hot water in there. We're going to just drop that thing in there. Depending on how hot the water is, you want that because it's been pre-fit from the lab when it comes back. That's ideally the way you want to use it. And then you drop that thing in there for 15-30 seconds, and you'll see it start to get a little bit clear. So you can see some of the edges of that thing starting to get just a little clear. And since that's already been pre-fit, we don't have to get it where it's clear everywhere, just about like that. Bite on it, okay? We'll leave it there for about 10 seconds or so. Not hard, but just a little bit, Jim, just kind of, good pressure. And then open, and then we're just gonna tease it out just a little bit, okay? And then we're gonna bite right back into it again. What you don't wanna do is get this thing real hot, have them bite into it, and then take a phone call, okay? Or go to the restroom, because when that thing gets hot, it will grab onto every single undercut, and you don't want to have to cut these things out of a patient's mouth. You'll do that once, but you'll never do it again. So now push that out with your tongue, okay? Perfect. So when we look at that thing, looks good. You can see where it's kind of clear, so we're going to go ahead and put it in the cool water now. We're going to do the same thing to the top one. So my water's getting a little bit hotter here now, my water pot. So with that water being a little bit hotter, you can see how that will get clear quite a bit faster. Okay? And that's about all we want is right there. Okay, Jim, I'm going to put this one in. Make sure you don't bite down, okay? Because you got that big hook there, okay? Be a little bit warm. Make sure you don't pinch the cheek, when you do that. And then you're just going to kind of push up on it like that. Okay, don't bite, Jim. I want you to take your thumbs in there. Not hard, but just kind of medium pressure, about like that. Again, don't let them bite down with that upper one in there, because you'll break some of the bottom teeth. Again, that's one of those things, ask me how I know. Right, that's happening, exactly. Okay, now go ahead and tease it out. Now put it right back in. It's a little bit loose, wasn't it? Okay, so if it's a little bit loose, then you want to push up on it a little bit harder, and you want to leave it in there for a little bit longer. And then once you get that, we'll look at it up close. I show you how you can trim off some of the little pieces that are there. Okay, let's go ahead and tease it out again. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and put that in the cool water as well. And then when you look at that thing up close, some of the spots that we might trim away, okay, are the little interproximal areas that stick in there like that. If you got big periodontal involved teeth and you've got a lot of that ThermAcryl in there, then you'll trim that back like that. Okay, one other thing I want you to check, once you have this in the patient's mouth, he's biting on that in the front, okay, but he's not trying to help it. He's not pushing his jaw out. He's just relaxed. And then we want to check that in the back to make sure that we have clearance there. So we only want this hitting in the front right here. We don't want it hitting in the back. No. Okay, when you order a device with ThermAcryl, you again, I want to emphasize, you want the lab to preheat and fit that device to the model. Okay, if they don't do that, you probably use a different lab, or you should talk to them about that. Okay, it makes the seating time so much quicker when you do that. Okay, in the patient's mouth. But what you'll also get when you do that is you'll get a bag of this ThermAcryl. Okay, because sometimes we need to add a little bit extra. Okay, over the years, I think we have about 20 of these jars of ThermAcryl beads now. Okay, so what you want to do is you're going to sacrifice one of these bowls, because once you start this process with that, you can't hardly get this stuff off. Okay, but you can see how hard it is right now. And then when we add this hot water to this, okay, what you'd do, again, you pick a bowl that you're going to sacrifice. So you just pour hot water in there, and you'd open this up and you'd pour some of these beads in there. Okay, and when that stuff gets hot, it gets kind of like the consistency of sticky silly putty, something like that. So if we had a device that wasn't staying in the patient's mouth, for example, let's say a lower tap and it keeps popping out, and we've trimmed away all of the excess. So what we would do then is we would take a different bowl and we would heat the tap in the hot water in that, and then we would take this that we've been heating up. So this is real time there, okay? So that's just about 10-15 seconds, and you'll see what happens with that stuff. Again, it will start to get clear like that, okay? And what we do is we just take a bunch of it and we make a little spaghetti thing like that, and then we lay that into the device that's hot as well, and then we reseat that in the patient's mouth. But that kind of gives you an idea of what that stuff starts to look like and what it starts to feel like and work with. So there is a learning curve there, but I think if you'll take the time to do it, it's well worth it.